So if you remember last year's Pride Month, I did a video called Problems with Gayness in Anime. The video featured me talking about the problems that anime have when it comes to portraying gayness some of the time. Mostly about how gay men and women are fetishized for a straight audience. The reception of this video was positive with gay viewers and negative with straight viewers. I wonder which one has more credit with this topic. Anyway, I was going to do a follow-up video for this year's Pride Month called Problems with Gender Identity in Anime, mostly talking about how anime treats certain male, crossdresser, and transgender characters in a negative light. But when I did research to look up examples to talk about, I couldn't find that many. There are some out there, don't get me wrong, but they weren't that prevalent as opposed to the negative representations of gay characters that I talked about recently. Anime is actually pretty good with crossdresser and transgender characters in their shows for the most part, especially for the past few years. So instead, I'm just going to talk about one specific thing that has started to grind my gears in terms of the anime community itself. The term trap.
Speaking as a transgender woman myself, I hate it whenever someone uses the term trap. It's an outdated term to refer to specific characters for a joke, and it only becomes more and more problematic and offensive the more I hear someone say it. I've been seeing the term used a lot when referring to recent male crossdresser characters like Hidori from Blend S and Lin from Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens. Now, some of you might be annoyed by me saying this, saying that, oh, is no term safe to use now in this PC environment? Now, while I'll argue this statement with you, I do think that we need to discard terms that insult or sort of make fun of a specific group of people.
How does the term trap become offensive to transgender individuals like myself or men who crossdress as women? Oh, allow me to explain in this video that I'm titling Why I Hate the Anime Term Trap. Now, for those of you who may not know what the fuck I'm talking about, I'll talk about the origins of the term trap and what it is used for in the first place.
Trap is an internet slang term used online for male characters who crossdress or have an androgynous expression to them, using the classic "It's a trap" meme spoken by Admiral Akbar from Return of the Jedi. It's used to express fear that someone is attempting to trick or confuse other sexuality through appearance changes. Now, the first time this term was used in terms of anime is probably around 2005 on the image board community 4chan, with the phrase being closely associated with pictures of an anime character wherein the gender of the subject seems to be ambiguous or androgynous in appearance. Some state that the first character described as a trap was in the 1949 manga Metropolis. The character was Michi, a synthesized human with a literal gender switch which can turn it from a boy into a girl and vice versa, which is used as a plot point. Nowadays, the term is used when there is a character that majority of people think are female first, but then it's revealed that the character is actually a boy. One who looks and appears to be female, but is actually male.
Now that you know the origins of the term, let's talk about why it's problematic and offensive towards a specific group of people. Now, when I talk about the people who use it, for the most part, I'm not saying that everyone in this group uses it, but I can say that it is the majority and where it comes from the most. But I can say that the majority of the people from this group definitely use this term. I'm just generalizing to get my point across, honestly. Anyway, the group of people who use this term the most are usually cis straight men, and it all links to the insecurity of masculinity that has plagued tons of men throughout the world.
So it starts off with there being a super cute or attractive character that you think is a woman. The male viewer thinks this as well and can't wait to see more of them. But then in a shocking turn of events, the character is actually a male who is a crossdresser. Now, while the character enjoys crossdressing and looks amazing while doing it, and the show treats it that way, the male fandom doesn't treat them the same way. When they realize that the character is a male crossdresser, they laugh and yell, "Trap! Trap! It's another trap character!"
Now, while they say this casually and in a joking manner, allow me to translate what it really means. Holy shit, that's a dude! Trap! Trap! Ha ha ha! I wasn't fooled at all. I knew it was a dude all along. I am straight and totally didn't have any gay thoughts. Give or take some liberty I put in that translation. Now, you may ask, where does the insecurity of masculinity come into play? Well, without going into a college-like lecture, I'll try to describe it more generally.
In our male-dominated country, some young boys are raised a certain way by their fathers, that men can't show weak emotions like crying or any other passive feelings. That would make them be more female, which would make them inferior. Instead, men should use only strong emotions like anger and aggression. Because of this, the patriarchal environment becomes one of toxic masculinity. What that evolves into is the male always trying to prove themselves as a strong man because anything else would have people see them as feminine, and that is considered weaker. One of the things that the male has to avoid being seen as is gay, as gay men back in the day, and still a little bit now, were perceived only as feminine and flamboyant. So when the male viewer sees a character that they thought was a cute and attractive female character but is revealed to be a male crossdresser, these thoughts are now turned into gay thoughts. So they shout the word trap in order to disguise this and say that they knew that the character was a trap all along and that they could never find a male character attractive. No way in hell. So they go about insulting the character instead of saying how cute or beautiful this male character is who enjoys cross-dressing as a woman. This makes the cross-dressing character seem less human and like a joke character. You know, instead of people who just enjoy cross-dressing like a lot of people in the world enjoy doing.
Now it's time to talk from personal experience as I talk about how the term trap relates to transgenderism in a very negative light.
Let's say there's a transgender character like Ruka from Steins Gate, a character that majority of the viewers thought were biologically female at first until it was revealed that she was born biologically male. And she dresses femininely, like with her Shrine Maiden outfit. Now while the story of Ruka in the anime is pretty great, with asking the other characters to send a text to her mother before she was born to manipulate time so that she is born biologically female, this ends up working and the main character finds himself in a world where this happens. Later on though, Ruka has to give up this world in order to save the life of another friend, resulting in a very sad and powerful episode.
What you look like is neither here nor there. People are idiots. The genuine you transcends that rot.
But all anyone else was shouting at the time was, "Oh look, it's another trap character, it's a dude! Trap, 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 trap!" Completely ignoring who the character is and what she goes through throughout the anime. By using the term trap to describe transgender characters, it's being ignorant of the transition process and the difficulty that some transgender individuals have with their bodies. By completely ignoring what it means to be transgender and the difficulties that the character possibly goes through and just calling them a male trap, it belittles them and says that they aren't who they truly are. There are some transgender people in real life where having the wrong body is like death to them, and any reminder kills them inside. So associating a male trap with transgender characters can be harming to real life views towards transgender individuals.
It's basically saying that by saying that our bodies, and I'm talking about transgender women here, we're having a penis while we identify as a woman, we aren't really women. We are traps. And no, that is not who we are. We are women whose body doesn't match the gender that we are, for the most part. I'm just talking about from personal experience, but by saying that transgender characters are traps, you're basically saying that they are men in women's clothes, and that's not true. And that's not true for real-life transgender people in the real world either.
Now another meaning of traps that is often used for and associated with is that the character identified as a trap is trying to trick you to force sexual intimacy on you. I cannot begin to tell you how much of an offensive and outdated stereotype that is. That either male cross-dressers are dressing up as women to trick men and women to have sex with them, that they are a predatory assaulter, and in terms of transgender women, that we are only pretending to be women to do the same thing. Again, that's such an offensive and outdated stereotype. So by calling male crossdressers and transgender individuals as trap characters who are trying to trick you falls back on this stereotype. There are still a lot of people who believe this stereotype about male crossdressers and transgender individuals trying to trick them and rape them. And by using the term trap, it's continuing the stereotype for more years to come.
It also relates to how some straight men, and lesbian women for that matter, have a certain attitude towards transgender women sometimes. Some straight men and lesbian women will say that they won't date or have sex with a transgender woman because they happen to have a penis instead of a vagina. Or even after surgery, if the transgender individual chooses to have one, they won't because of what they used to have. It's basically saying that since we don't have the same body parts as a biologically born woman, we aren't women at all. And again, that is simply not true. We are women. Transgender women. And proud.
Anime has adapted and grown out of using offensive stereotypes when having cross-dressing characters and transgender characters in their shows. They are now three-dimensional characters who have thoughts, dreams, and desires. They are given character arcs and are allowed to be fun characters. They also get to join the list of great positive representation that queer people can watch and enjoy. However, the community has not grown up and continue to use the term trap when talking about recent cross-dressing and/or transgender characters. It's become an outdated and offensive term.
And I plead everyone in the anime community to please not use this term anymore. Instead, let's celebrate these characters who enjoy being who they are and look amazing while doing it. And when you do, I'll be right there with you enjoying these positive representations in anime.